It's 5 o'clock Mountain Time. Time for Tom and Shane, business and politics, the Swiss Army knives of business and politics. And today we're going to talk about how trans stuff just will not go away. And we're going to talk about a trans male joining a sorority in University of Wyoming. Shane, apparently this guy is adamant about joining this female group. So, what do we take away from this, if anything?
Well, I think what we take away from it is how bad the current situation is in universities, particularly the sororities and fraternities. People aren't chasing up a pole to join them as they did when I was a kid. I joined a fraternity when I went to school in University in Bozeman. And there's 21 fraternities. They're all, from Greek heritage, basically. And it's sort of like a Greek private space. Second thing is, it doesn't make any sense about this now because this happened last October, and word came down from headquarters at their Kappa Kappa Kappa, whatever.
Yeah,
that they had to let this guy join in the week, the week that they do of looking at people, and they have to vote him in, but they didn't get the right to vote him in, so they were forced to allow him in. So he's been there since last October.
Yeah.
So he went all through fall, into Christmas, into spring, and now it becomes a big story. Why? Well, they're trying to draw attention to, like I said, fraternities and sororities, and get people talking about them again. And it's a terrible way to do it, because all it does is turn people away from them. Like, what parent wants to send their kid to join us? The only parent would be one that was in one. Like, really
There you
weird.
are. Well, yeah, I think, parents now who are sending college age kids probably were in sororities and fraternities. I wasn't able to join a fraternity in college because I was an athlete. And smoking and drinking and all the stuff didn't go with with athletics. So none of the athletes were allowed to join fraternities. So, but yeah, this guy is 6'2", 260 pounds, Artemis Langford, and moving back into the house. And the other thing that comes up, Shane, is that the sorority sisters want to bring an action, but the judge says you've got to name yourself. You don't have whistleblower standing. You don't have secrecy.
Yeah.
If you bring the suit, you're going to have to reveal your names, and so that's what is happening here
Well,
with this suit.
look, they have frat parties all the time. Went to them.
Oh yeah, sure.
But there was always like a top floor where the guys showered, and that was a common area, and
Oh sure, yeah.
the bathrooms, and no one could go up there. Like, if you went to a sorority house, guys couldn't go to the fifth floor.
Yeah.
Similar with girls. They'd go to guys' rooms. Of course, that's one of the reasons they were there.
Well,
but
yeah.
not to the top floor. So, it's mostly undergraduates to help people through the process. It's sort of like not having high school. So, you know what I mean? Even though you're a freshman, it's sort of like junior high. But anyway, look, the membership of a fraternity, they do allow some graduate students in, but usually graduate students are working on a thesis. They don't need the partying and screaming, yelling, and all the other stuff. But the individual organizations and purpose share five common elements: secrecy, that's important. This is important. Single-sex memberships, which is what they were sold for.
Yeah,
right?
That's the whole point.
Selection of new members on the basis of a two-part vetting and probationary process known as rushing and pledging. So that's the rushing is the parties where everyone that's a freshman.
Anybody who's seen Animal House knows this,
right? But but not everyone does. So but after the rushing, and you go through this process, then you pick the pledges, and then you go through it, and then you vote on them.
Yeah.
So, but now they weren't allowed to do that either. Ownership and occupancy of a residential property where undergraduate members live. Well, there's no question that's been hugely successful on all these campuses, because they have huge houses on probably at
A
least
lot
an
of them
acre.
do, yeah.
Yeah, like
Well, they've
an
got all
acre of
this.
property.
Well, these fraternities and sororities been around forever, and of course
Yeah.
their money is there, and they can certainly handle things like this. And
But
but
they're all, but
yeah,
they're every campus has probably at least a half an acre to an acre,
oh
and
yeah,
so the
mhm.
property is invaluable. I mean, they could sell
Oh
it for
sure,
millions.
oh yeah, you could sell for millions,
Yeah,
yeah,
the fifth
yeah,
thing is
mhm,
set complex identification symbols
mhm,
that may include Greek letters,
yeah,
memorial achievements, ciphers, badges, grips,
yeah,
handshakes, passwords, flowers, and colors. Now, all
yeah,
these things are given up to some guy.
yeah,
Like every sorority has a secret handshake. If
yeah,
you've forgotten it, you're no
yeah.
longer a
You're
member.
no longer in. Yeah,
Yeah, and I have to
anybody who's
say,
seen Road Trip knows
knows that.
knows
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
so
so
and I have to say, designating myself an old man, I've forgotten my handshake, but that's
yeah.
okay.
Well, don't worry about it because it's not
I'm not.
important.
No, but I thought for the context,
Well, the
at the end,
history of
like,
sororities and
yeah,
fraternities, no one cares. It doesn't
I
matter.
realize that, but I
Yeah,
didn't want to go into dates
yeah.
or anything. I just
I
wanted to give.
understand that. Yeah,
All
no,
right.
we don't. Well, the one thing that has come up, and this is something we want to talk about. The CDC released this. It's a couple of years old, but I would imagine it's probably worse now than it was then. But we've got 24% of high school students think they're either transsexual or gay or lesbian or something else.
Or bisexual.
Or they're they or whatever. So, but you can look since 2015 how much of this has increased, and that I think is due to the fact that we have so many teenagers that are bullied, and with social media and everything, they're looking for love anywhere they can find it, and if we can't find it over here, we'll go over to this group and find it and convince ourselves that we belong in that sphere.
Well, the fascinating thing about your chart is three things. The first thing is it's from 215 to 21. The
Hmm.
second thing is, this is the CDC that didn't tell us anything about COVID for 4 years.
Well, that's
And
true.
so this is from 2021. It's 2 years old, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
And number three, where's the data for 22 and 23? Why wasn't that
Well,
included?
this I just
You know,
found this online,
I know
so
you did. I know you did. But it
so it's
says
not a
today, so
yeah.
maybe it was a
Yeah,
couple
well,
of
I'm
years ago.
saying it's probably worse today because with all the things that have happened with Bud Light and some of these other things that we're going to talk about today, um, it's just it's getting ridiculous, Shane. It's becoming really stupid. For example, Riley Gaines, you may know her, demands athletes start boycotting Adidas for they've got biological male models doing the female swimsuit, Shane.
Isn't that great?
They've got skinny biological males advertising their swimsuits online, and I don't think they learned anything from Bud Light, but they are a German company, so maybe transgenderism is more rampant in
Oh
Europe
yeah,
than it
no,
is here.
well,
I don't know.
that's you remember the movie Cabaret, the musical? I
Oh,
mean,
sure, yeah.
this has been going on in Europe for
Well, I understand
a
that,
thousand
yeah, but
years. So yeah,
yeah,
no,
no,
it's yeah.
but it hasn't been front page news for when we were at school there weren't any transgenders, there wasn't anybody gay. If they were, they didn't come out of the closet, so to speak.
Well, the
Yeah.
Protestant Reformation by the Germans, a large part of that had to do about this thing. If you go into real deep history and read about it,
Mhm.
the clergy, a lot of them are gay or
Mhm.
whatever. And, we're talking several hundred years ago.
Oh, sure.
And, to the Catholic religion, no, 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 yet, yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
in the closet, yes, but in the church, no. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
so
Mhm.
the problem we have with all this again is
Mhm.
if man is ruled by laws and not morals, anything's
Mhm.
acceptable. So all these things now become
Mhm.
acceptable because morals are deemed to be wrong, to be
Yeah.
moralistic, to have a
Mhm.
certain set of guidelines that you follow. By 6 years old, if your kids don't know the difference between good and bad and right and wrong, you're in
Yeah,
trouble. And
that's
so
for
are
sure.
they.
You
They're
absolutely
in
are.
trouble.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
in
you're in
trouble.
real trouble there. So that's for
Yeah.
sure. Comment from YouTuber, or 010 tuber, I should say. Final phase of the Marxist takeover, and we were warned about this in the mid 60s, the product of grooming the youth. And that's, I don't know how to put it any other way. I think he has it, he's got it right on the head, Shane, because, this the more permissive it is and the more acceptable it is, the worse it gets. I mean,
Yeah,
look
exactly.
at the crime. When they started no bail and letting people out, if you steal less than $1,000, what happened?
Nothing.
The place went nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
they're shoplifting right and left. Crime is rampant in every major city. They got all these DAs that aren't going to prosecute these minor crimes, and the criminals, the bad element of every city, is taking advantage of it. You're getting people assaulted in subways, on the street. Asians being beat up, Muslims being beat up. I mean, the more permissive we allow society to be, the more to the dark side it goes.
That's right. And the demolition Democratic Party wants this. They're the party of civil war. They're party of racism. They're party of power. Read your history books, understand what I'm saying. We had this happen in our country with our prime minister, who locked down our country because of a demonstration in Ottawa on traffic problems.
Yeah,
Like that. I mean, you got people burning and stealing and robbing, raping, killing.
yeah.
So the Democrats, they have it in all their cities. That's what they want. So it's a sad reality. And again, the question becomes: at what point do the American people of urban cities say no more? We can't do this anymore.
Yeah. For the benefit of the viewers, new subscribers, or whatever that may not realize it, I'm in Bozeman, Montana. Shane's in Kamloops, Canada.
Yep,
And
500 miles north. Yep.
Yeah. So we're the other thing. Trudeau came out the other day and said, whoever you love, you should love. You should be allowed to love whoever you love.
Yeah,
Now,
and in the middle of the statement, he couldn't say LGBTQ.
yeah, he couldn't.
Plus,
He couldn't say the letters. But
he had to have an assistant tell him, on camera.
Yeah. Well, the other thing you missed is that if you want to permit everybody to love who they want to love, what about pedophiles? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Is that love we want to foster?
Yeah, this is a guy who went blackface to junior high and high school he was teaching at a Christmas or Halloween party, and then told the media in Canada and the people of Canada, "Oh, I didn't know it was wrong, and this is not something I should do." And it wasn't explained to me. BS.
Yeah.
Pierre Trudeau was our prime minister when we almost had a civil war in Quebec and
I was going to say,
and Ontario, and he was the one who he stood up tall, for civil rights, and particularly in the United States. I mean, this is a guy that drove around in Montreal as a kid during World War II with a German World War I helmet on with a point, the point on it.
Right.
That's how liberal, and we're supposed to believe he didn't tell his children, his boys.
That helmet was cool. I want to go back
on a motorcycle.
Whatever. I want to go back to this Wyoming, University of Wyoming, allowing this transgender guy in. One of their objections, Shane, apparently this guy gets a boner if he sees a copy of the Ladies' Home Journal. I mean, he's apparently uncontrolled. So I don't know what is. That's one of the problems they're having is this guy's walking around with a boner all the time.
That's right. It's the woke equivalent of a rubberneck. When people you're rubbernecking when you turn to look see what's going on. Well, this guy just has to look and bingo.
Yeah.
Anybody interested? No. Yeah.
Well, he must be a lesbian, I guess. If he's a transgender woman and he's hot for women, I guess that makes him a lesbian. So I don't know,
Yeah,
Shane.
yeah.
I'm befuddled here anyway. But
Anyway,
well, we do know the Bud Light sales dropped. So did some of the Budweiser products. They didn't just go after
40%
Bud
now.
Light. They went after they went after Budweiser and Michelob and all the brands.
Yeah.
And we did a podcast on it. We're at the Red Sox baseball stadium, Fenway Park. The concession stands that hold Bud Light were empty. So, people were going somewhere else.
That's
And
right. Last year they sold 14 million, the equivalent of 14 million kegs of beer, Bud Light.
yeah,
And their sales are down to around 11. So like they've lost 25%.
yeah, they've lost a lot of money. Yeah,
That's big. Yeah.
6 billion or so, I believe, at last count. Starbucks sacked a trans worker who accused a female customer of being transphobic and not using the proper pronouns for the transgender person. So I'm sure that Schultz will be will be in court answering how can you fire the trans worker.
Here's the problem with being this transgender situation. They expect your respect for their pronouns. But then you have every right for them to respect your use of your pronouns.
Absolutely.
So if you want to use pronouns, different ones, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to respect my right to use whatever pronouns I deem respectable. But nobody wants to have that conversation. They don't want to explain it because why? Common sense tells you that.
Okay, I just got a news alert from Fox News. Garth Brooks says he showered with Steven Tyler. So there you go. So you heard it here first, folks.
Boys and girls
we're on top of the news.
They probably went to high school together or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, they may have. I don't know.
I mean, that was the biggest fear in high school when I was swimming and diving and playing squash and playing racquetball. You have a tendency to get excited in sports, and you go and if you take a cold shower, you're okay, but you get a warm shower going, all of a sudden you start getting a woody, and you're going, oh God, I can't do this. I gotta get out of here. You grab your towel and run.
I never had that issue, and
I'm sure you didn't. I'm just saying some people do.
Well, nobody I ever showered with did. So
there you go.
Yeah. So I did a lot of athletics, both high school and college, both. So, but that's fine. Let's hope those people get help. So, well, a problem between your ears doesn't constitute a fix between your legs. That's the issue. Yeah, it is a good line. Yeah, that's a good issue. If transsexual was a minority, the first thing I would want to do is find out, why do I feel differently than somebody else? I'm not just going to accept it. If I'm not the same as other people in my in nature, then I need to find out why.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with you. I mean, these people should be referred to as a third world minority. I mean, it's really small. On the basis of 8 billion, I mean, on the basis of 360 million, 65 million, it's like 0.1% or something. So it's like this is a far reach for the media to want to talk about it. But you know why? Because it's misdirection, and we don't want to talk about what's important. And it's great because here we are getting to have a conversation about it.
Well, it's the emperor has no clothes all over again.
He's a nudist. No. Does a nudist fall into transgenderism? A nudist?
No,
you're adding it. I know the fable.
Yeah.
So we're going to add nudists to the.
No, you're taking it to a different level. It's an analogy. It's an analogy. It's not. Guy's not naked in the sorority house, but.
Well, this guy does. He goes out and showers in the women's bathroom.
Well, apparently not. I don't know, or at least I think they've stopped taking showers altogether, the women. So he's in there by himself. So
Well, that's what I mean. That's what
I guess, I don't
resulted.
know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I mean, think of it, 6'2", 260 pounds. This is not it.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's like this guy. The story goes like this, real quick. A guy was charged for exposing himself in a park to children,
Yeah.
and the lawyer's defense to the judge was, "Oh no, he's too obese, so you couldn't see his genitalia."
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that case. Yeah.
I mean, that's. Boy,
I don't think
talk
that
about
worked. I don't think that
yeah.
worked in
No, it didn't
court.
work,
Yeah,
but I
no,
mean,
it
you
didn't
talk
work, but
about
it was a good defense. I
yeah,
thought it was a creative defense,
yeah.
but yeah, a lot of guys have that problem. I
Well,
think.
particularly when the guy's standing in court at 6'2" and looks like he's only 220.
Yeah, I know.
The
Yeah.
judge probably thought, "You're telling me he lost 300 pounds?" Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't
Between
think
now
so.
and between
Yeah,
my arrest in court, yeah.
yeah.
It was Atkins. Atkins
Yeah,
that did it for me. Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it was
exactly.
it was really good. So
Yeah,
good
yeah. None of
stuff.
those diet people want to take credit for that.
No, that's it. Well, the diet thing's kind of a thing too that people gravitate to. Here's the answer to my problem. I'll go to Atkins. I'll go to Slim Fast. I'll go to this or I'll go to that. Or if I have to put on weight, well, there's muscle milk. There's protein powder or whatever. And that's the society we've created for ourselves, that any pain has to be taken away, Shane. We can't endure any pain of any kind. We've got to alleviate that pain. So
No, that's right. I mean,
wherever we go, yeah.
the most popular show that Shark Tank ever did was 3 college chemistry students came in, and they had a big jar of fat, like big jar, like
Yeah.
5-gallon jar,
Yeah.
glass full of fat,
Yeah.
and they poured this substance in it, and it just started to dissolve and bubble away.
Yeah.
And that's become all kinds of different products now, like 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And they sell them like pillowcases, or they sell it like pillowcases, or don't feel pain again, and sleep better with this pill. And yeah, it's like back in the 80s. I remember I had a $500 credit card because I'd be up like weird hours of the night because I was 24/7, and I'd have the TV on trying to catch news somewhere in the world, and they'd have those ads on television.
Yeah.
The Zedco lighters and
Yeah.
the Japanese knives and the shrinking hose, and so I'd go on, to call the 800 number, and I order one or something.
Yeah.
But I put it on this dopey little, $500 credit card because I didn't want to, I don't want to get burnt. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, right. Well. All right, let's wrap this thing up, Shane. Final thoughts.
But did you ever watch Home Marketing? Speaking of a segue, did you ever watch that TV show that became really famous before the internet? Home Marketing show.
Yeah.
That was a $1 billion industry. I mean, they did huge numbers. Yeah. All right, that was my final thoughts. A good idea can turn into a great thing, like our show.
That's
so
right.
Please subscribe. We're asking for you to help. We've had a terrific response in the last 4 weeks.
We have, yeah. We have
had a great number of our subscriptions have almost doubled.
Yeah.
And likes are going off like Christmas.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, if we were a product, we'd be on the eye level shelf.
And that's not lights like Christmas. I'm saying likes.
Yeah,
like Christmas.
Lights,
likes,
whatever.
Lights.
All right. Hey, don't forget, we're also on radio. We'll be on the radio this Saturday, 8 to 11 Mountain Time. You can listen anywhere in the world, kmmsam.com. There's no sign up, nothing to join, no email needed, no personal information of any kind. All you do is click on Listen Now and listen. You can call us, you can text us. It's a wonderful 3 hours of limited interruption radio where we talk about all the things we talk about here on the podcast.
I'm thumbing for someone to pick me up on Saturday.
Okay, there you go. And our past shows, if you want to see what we do on radio, if you want to get a sample, we post them with no commercial interruption, no news, no weather, no nothing, just Tom and Shane and the listeners and the callers and the texters. And that's also at KMMSAM.com. Just click on Tom and Shane's podcast, and you'll be taken over there, like it or not. So,
and over 850 shows, over 10 years for you to learn and then get a giggle over, because most of ours, we try to be funny. But we're always looking for that, internet moment where something goes viral. Hello, right. Linda. It's good to see you, babe.
Linda, good show. Thanks, Linda. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate you being here as well. So thanks so much for that. And that's going to wrap it up for us. So, hey, don't forget, please don't forget, we are here every Tuesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. We're on Facebook Live, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Twitter. So we are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 o'clock. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the notification bell. You'll always be notified when we're on, no matter what time zone you're in. And we would love it if you would do that. So we'll see you with our next podcast next Tuesday. We'll talk to you on the radio on Saturday. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you on our next podcast.